do you change people's mindset? You've done it through your movies as well, right? You tried many different things and you changed perception of people about you all the time.
Indian women, housewives hold more gold than, I think if you take out US, than the top 5 G7 countries, central bank. More
I'm
gold
not surprised.
So I think, and the problem with the remaining 93% is that they think this is a last resort. Now, what we are also trying to do is that bring a fairness and a respect in the industry, because I have been at the receiving end a couple of times in my family business, and it's not pretty. As a borrower, what you say is कि यार तुम आके मेरे दुख दर्द तो ठीक नहीं कर सकते. You cannot fix things for me. Don't screw it over. Don't make things worse for me. Treat me respect. If tables were turned and you were in that position, treat me like you would have liked to be treated. It's a very simple philosophy. So one of the core values which we have is fairness, where we go over and beyond to be fair to our customers, employees, our lending partners, our business partners. So that is something which we try to imbibe even in the toughest times.
So the thing that we wanted your thoughts on was, how do you change people's mindset? You've done it through your movies as well, right? You tried many different things and you changed perception of people about you all the time. How do you inspire youngsters, for example, in this country who don't want a gold loan, think it's a stigmatized category, to say, use your gold jewelry actively, to multiply money rather than just keep it at home? So any thoughts you might have on that?
The one thing that you guys, all of you have started by really aggressively, thinking about putting out an ad and an endorsement. That is the first step, where you show people's, faces doing it. And when these ads will be hitting all the televisions and the social media everywhere, people will start thinking, the first thing first, when you show it to them physically, how it can happen, through an ad. That's the first step. And when you do it aggressively, then, my neighbor will go and he will be the first person to do it. And you will be the second person, because that's how it spreads. In middle class is very, very apprehensive, very careful. He's always very scared and taking the first step. He wants others to take that first step for them. So the first, for you guys to, to really spread the idea through ads is the first step. One person taking that step, getting encouraged by that ad, or getting an idea through that ad, and if he tries to do that, the other members of the same building will be following the suit. So that's how I have seen this happening. I mean, this is exactly how it happens even in our industry. The Family Man season 1, it created its own audience first. Okay. Not that the entire country, entire world has gone and watched the series. It spread. It's spread by, 5 people have seen it. Then they have told 10 people. Then they have told, 1,000 people. And that's how the word of mouth that you talk about. But that, you guys have, and also I have seen on the set how aggressively Rupeek is really planning their move through advertisements. Is the first, huge step that Rupeek is taking.
You really get the underlying need, and even I would say your vision in terms of how it can potentially unfold. Either we are, two fools sharing the same train and time or this is a validation for us that we are triangulating and on to, something which logically makes sense. I would believe it's latter. So fingers crossed.
If you look at your own life, if you look at your own background, it's the references are there for you to really chalk out your plan. And the references are not coming out of anything. References are coming out of experience.
Actually, discovery happens this through strong and urgent need. It could be of business nature, personal, बच्चे का fee pay
Yeah.
करना है. And then they say, अच्छा क्या है? Now, for example, we are launching a gold back credit card.
Right.
Aspirational product. This month we are launching that. Millions of households, barely 3 or 4% of Indian population is actually eligible for card.
Right.
But hai aspirational product. Debit card are probably 5, 6, 7x higher than that.
Right.
The point is कि वो swipe करने की आदत सबको है लेकिन credit limit मिल नहीं रही है. So now people and it acts as a working capital management tool for masses. So actually we launched a product which is overdraft limit कि आप gold रख दो locker में. This is live and we have seen that people are using gold back credit for purchasing bus ticket, making payment for rent. They are paying it for booking a movie ticket or buying things at food court.
Electricity bills.
Electricity bills. So it's remarkable that when you take this friction out, people find their own use cases. It's the exposure happens through one thing, and then they define their own meaning कि क्या क्या वो कर सकते हैं उससे. So that was our inspiration for credit card, which we are now launching with RBL Bank in another 15-20 days. And I think that project is also going to see some success, primarily because there is an underlying strong need for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the history of credit card in this country, you'll realize how it all happened. When initially, if you take my own case, I was averse to keeping a credit card in my pocket. Somewhere the whole idea of taking the loan and spending money by using the credit card was something that I was not very comfortable with. But as the time it all unfolded, today we hardly use cash. We don't even take out cash for our expenditure today. So the most of the purchasing is happening through credit card.
I'll give you one very interesting fact again about us. I don't know if team has shared. We have every month there are certain new customers which we acquire. 60% of them, Manoj, have never taken gold loan before in their life.
Right.
मतलब life का, so these are your Kashmiris, Shahs, Gujjus, Madus, Sharmas, जो जिनके घर में मतलब आन बान शान पे बनाता है कि गोल्ड लोन नहीं लेना है. Why? And typically the reason is वो छोटापन वाला feeling नहीं आता, and you feel a little bit like alpha male when things are in control. और वो vulnerable situation होती है. When you talk to head of the family, female of the family, सब लोग walk down होते हैं कि यार credit in general थोड़ा scary लगता है सबको, और उसमें gold के against लेना वैसे ही walk down, so बाहर जाना prefer नहीं करते. So this became an interesting starting point for us. Now we are seeing कि यार इन्हीं लोगों को जो first time user है और इस category में आ रहे हैं, we are able to get into other asset classes, which is overdraft limit or a card, and giving a first class service. So interestingly, just that 60% of first time borrower, ऐसा नहीं कि वो एक बार आके चले जा रहे हैं. To your point, कि आदमी को emergency तो एक बार लगती है, but if you give a good service, वो बार बार आता है. So our repeat are highest in the industry. Long term, 4 साल के अंदर something like a 400% additional business they give, which is highest in the industry for us. Loyalty wise, where if a customer transact once, certain the customers who typically, these new to gold loan customers typically have like a 60% to 70% plus loyalty. मतलब उसके बाद के जितने उन्होंने gold loan लिए हैं only Rupeek से लिए हैं. 70% never went back to any other borrower. 20% went back to their original borrower as well as Rupeek, and 10% only left the industry and left Rupeek. So the point is that what you articulated कि यार वो एक छोटी चीज से start होगा and then it can grow, actually is seen in our own numbers.
3 stories that you have done that are the best in your career, and we also told you're very decisive, so you will choose one of them. So I'm going to give you 3 options, and I'd love for you to know which one of them. One is Satya.
Okay.
Second is Rupeek. Third is Gangs of Wasipur.
Well, there are few
don't want you put in a spot. Just thought we land on a lighter note.